This is James Arnold Taylor, voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Welcome to a more civilized podcast. This is the podcast you're looking for. You may not go about your business. Stay here, listen, and then move along.
Well,
you guys.
Ross, why don't you do the intro while I'm pouring the bubbly?
Hey there. Hey there. No, I can't do it. I don't know.
Hello there, listeners.
I'm always thinking about other things. I do the edit. You can't give this to me now.
All right, I'll do this.
Yes.
Hey, dear listeners, welcome.
It is kind of appalling that we haven't been greeting all our listeners with hello there this whole time.
Hello there.
Hello there, listeners.
That's true. Wow, we should be fired. Well, anyway, it is the end of our very first year doing this podcast.
Yes, first and last. It's been nice. Bye, everyone.
And this is probably the most adequate intro to end the first year. We're true to form,
far less climactic than I anticipated, but I brought some bubbly for us to share and some fine crystal
we're all
glasses.
drunk on this fake bubbly.
Yep. So a toast, dear gentlemen, to our first year. Cheers.
Hear, hear.
Cheers.
Wow,
that was sad.
This is real crystal, I promise. Okay, I'll drink some. Hold on. I think you're only supposed to fill these like halfway.
Yeah, that does seem likely.
Okay, let's try this, Ross. Wow, better, but still no.
Ah, well.
Okay,
Whatever.
Well, we tried. I promise it's real crystal.
It was an adequate glass.
It was. True to form, our toast was adequate.
Everything we do.
Yeah, so we finished our first year.
Being...
What? Oh. I'm Kyler.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Ross. So there we go.
You know, you'd think after doing this every week for a year, I'd remember to introduce myself.
Yeah, well, you know.
But here we are.
Well, and you think after doing this the same amount of time, I'd remember how the intro goes.
Yeah, for sure. We should have Kelsey on to do the intro. She does it well. Oh boy, so there'll be random drinking sounds throughout this episode. Yeah, so here we are. It's been an interesting and fun journey.
It has been.
Particularly if you go back and listen to that first episode when we knew even less what we were doing than we do now, which isn't a whole lot.
We're practically journeymen at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember feeling nervous the first time, feeling weird?
Oh, so weird.
Yeah. Very, very weird.
Listening to episodes, my voice doesn't even bother me anymore. That should
I
tell
know,
you
right?
something.
Yeah.
Like, I have reached a point where I hear my recorded voice and I'm like, yep, that's what I sound like.
Yep, I'm just that irritating and people somehow listen.
Yep. I'm either a teenage boy there or a woman with a horse leg with a woman with a cold.
Or my favorite was the dramatic whisper that's so soft I can't pull it out from the room noise, and so it just drops out.
That's right.
What is it?
Yeah. No, sometimes Chris, for dramatic effect, will get real low and
Oh,
real
yeah,
quiet.
that's right.
Yeah,
And
I'm already pretty quiet, but I'm not a loud person generally, and so when I get quiet, I am really quiet.
Yep. So there we go.
So it's been really fun, and we are profoundly grateful for all of you who would take the time to listen week after week, or binge, and then hold off
And
for a
then keep
while,
listening.
and then
or whatever.
Or those of you who stumbled around and accidentally downloaded something and then didn't bother unsubscribing to the podcast. We do thank you. Ross, you have some news.
Some what?
Some news.
Somewhat now?
So, just some news.
I
Some
don't know
Star
what
Wars
you're
news.
I have some
We'll
news
see how we're
news.
doing by year 2. By the end of year 2.
Should I be nice and come up with a new intro for the second year?
Oh, Ross!
That'll never happen. All right, so here we go. Oh, where'd my list go?
He'll just fake you out. He'll do his new intro and then segue into Newsy News.
I should still make the new intro part of Newsy News part of the new intro. No. That would be great. Chris, you're full of great ideas.
And the sad thing is, I hate the idea so much, but there's nothing I can nothing I can do about it. Oh, it's true.
All right, so exciting news for comic lovers. Star Wars. Actually, this isn't as exciting. I'm sorry. I forgot the title I was reading. This isn't the exciting one. But the Star Wars main line of comics is going to be coming to an end this November. So those of us that have been enjoying reading the comics have a cap.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good news for you
that.
completionists out there, Kylie.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, not only is my wallet rejoicing at the money saved, but also it's sadly something that I
immediately go to Legion and Armada.
I know, right?
Well, yeah. Let's be real. But also something that you've said in the past, Chris, that the more you expand, the harder it gets to fit everything in, and kind of the more far-reaching ideas you have to get to come up with something new. And so I'd already felt like they'd kind of hit that point. With the mainline comics, where it was just kind of like, oh boy, you guys are getting awful busy for just a couple of years worth of time here between 4 and 5, and so I'm happy to see it end before we have to get into time dilation as the explanation for Luke being able to do all those things.
So there you go. All right, next up we have several items of Disney Plus news that have come to light in the recent past. First off, Disney Plus is going to be limited to PG-13 rated media. I believe the story is that they'll be pushing anything that will be rated above that off to Hulu. That's why it's also bundled.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
The more expensive subscription. So it'll all still be there, just on a different platform.
So if you want Logan, you won't get it on Disney Plus.
Or Deadpool.
I'm really excited for that, because that means I can still...
Or is Deadpool Fox?
Nothing that was Fox is still
that's
Fox.
right. It's all... Okay,
Yeah.
That's right.
Except for Fox News.
Yeah. But that makes me excited, though, because that means I can show my kids The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And don't have to miss out on any Star Wars goodness.
Which also is a point in the favor of...
For now.
The Mandalorian did not cut that dude in half.
Or they just don't show it.
They don't show it. They cut away, you can still get away with that. I mean, we watched Anakin behead
Butcher
Dooku,
younglings, yeah.
and Butcher younglings. Younglings
Still.
just got cut away.
Still.
Eh.
I think he just got pinned. Anyway, moving on. Disney Plus
Cared about nachos on that?
Nope.
Darn.
I was going to say, I'll get in on that.
It's because Ross knows he's wrong.
Yep.
You'll be there for the spoilers, because I'm not certain enough. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's the point of betting, Ross. If it was certain, it's not really much of a bet.
I only really bet on things about which I am
I know.
relatively certain. Learned that from my father.
So, Disney Plus has revealed the current icons for the new Star Wars movies. I shouldn't say the new movies, all the movies.
Yeah,
the icons that you will select
that you'll see on
to start the movie.
on the program.
Yeah.
I thought they all looked fantastic.
They did.
They were all
like
looking really good. Also, were all vaguely reminiscent of their actual poster.
I thought
a lot of them are
were,
just
like,
color shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that Last Jedi poster is the Last Jedi poster. It's just saturated in one color.
I didn't that close, I guess. But yeah, no, I think it's cool to see kind of how that lineup is going to go. I also had a nice white spot for the Rise of Skywalker.
Looking at these
Yeah.
now again, like I'll put a link to this in the notes, but I'm pretty sure that Last Jedi poster, they did shift it. Luke's been shifted down for it, and a few things have been shifted around, but otherwise it's basically the same. Return of the Jedi is from the DVD case. That's from the original DVD release. That's the same.
Yep.
Is it all the same?
No, not all of them. Well, there are a few adjustments to that Return of the Jedi one, but
say,
for the
'cause
most part, it's the same as the special edition DVD release.
Because I know Luke's the same, but I don't remember Yoda being in there like that. Anyway,
Well, that's fair.
but yeah, they're all awesome. Go take a look at them.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
And enjoy. Finally, in other Disney Plus news, they have released their trial in the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
So people in the Netherlands are able to...
Those lucky ducks.
And it's free for them too. They're doing a free trial in them.
So
Although the Mandalorian's not on there, so my excitement would be lessened.
So it's only the current Disney released
Yeah.
things. Yeah. So
But boy, I can't wait for November.
right?
I've got a date with Disney Plus.
I'll be there. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see that.
Party at Ross's house.
So
Maybe. I hope they get the PlayStation app for Disney Plus released that same day.
I would imagine Disney would have its app
I would be surprised if they
available.
didn't roll
Yeah,
it out on
I'm-
major
I'm-
platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm reasonably certain they will, but sometimes those things come out with the PlayStation updates. So it may or may
So
not
it could be
delayed.
one or the other. Yeah.
So I mean,
Well,
I have
we'll
my fingers crossed, but
But I mean, you've got an HDMI cord. Worst case scenario, we just hook that
Plug
up
it
to
in
someone's
the
laptop.
computer.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So
Okay. You heard it here, listeners. Everybody come to Ross's house.
Can't get much more official than us planning it on here in front of all of you.
that's right. Anyway, and that's the news.
Okay. Well, there we are. Yep. Okay. So, yeah. Geez. a year.
Here, this is our 60th full-length episode.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Along with, 8 Nerf nuggets at this point? 7, 8?
Nope.
8.
I've got some stats. Are you guys ready?
Oh, my.
Kyler is going to number us.
Yeah, I've got numbers, people. Alrighty. Let me those things. Year 1 stats. Whew. So, number of episodes. This episode is
number 60.
And we have 7 Nerf nuggets. So we have 67 items to download. And for any of you who may just be joining us, this is airing the week before our 1-year anniversary, which if you can do math, you realize that 60 is more than the number of weeks in a year. That's because we released I think 10 episodes.
We started
9 episodes in a Nerf nugget or
9
something
episodes
like that.
in a Nerf nugget, yes.
When we first launched back September 26th, I think.
Shouldn't you know? You're the one with the number.
I believe so. It was the day before my anniversary, so September 26th.
I would hope you can remember it.
September 26th, 2018.
So now the question is, does he remember his anniversary because that's when the podcast
yes,
started?
It is
or the
September
podcast
26th.
because of the anniversary?
Nope, anniversary came first. I'm a good husband. So,
good man.
Total downloads as of this recording, 5,100 and some change.
Nice.
I forgot to look up the total number before. I left that blank when I was compiling these yesterday because I was going to do it right before the show started so it would be super up to date, and then I forgot. So, hashtag adequate. Total countries listened in.
Ooh.
Care to guess?
Yeah, I do. Total countries.
Yeah, countries.
I'm going to go with 15.
Ross, what do you got for us?
I'm going to go 10.
You're both wrong.
Naturally.
It's 20 asterisk.
20 asterisk.
Because
there's some other
Ross's sister and her
Yeah.
husband went vacationing in Bulgaria and downloaded comically 4 episodes in Bulgaria so that we would be all excited thinking somebody was there, and then it turned out to be just Lindsay. So
Just Lindsay.
So it's 19 countries where people not playing a prank on us.
Well, as far as we know.
As far as we know, that's true. Yeah.
But that's still 20. It was downloaded there. That counts.
That's true.
Number
20
number
though.
one,
I
yeah.
did
Number
not
one
think
is
of
the
that.
United States, obviously.
Naturally.
Yeah.
What do you think number 2 is?
It's either Australia or Canada.
I think it's actually one of the UK countries.
There's
mean
only
the
one
UK?
UK country.
I'm sorry. One of
European countries?
No, one of the sub states within
Nope,
the UK.
the UK is listed as a single metric.
Yes. They don't list Scotland and Wales.
Oh,
and
is
North
Ireland?
Ireland
part of
is a
them
different
anymore?
country.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's
Ireland,
Northern
yeah.
Ireland,
Northern
which is
Ireland
one
is
of
still
the
part of the
kingdoms
UK,
that is
but-
united. But yeah,
The rest of Ireland is very much not the UK and is quite particular about keeping that distinct.
yep, it's Australia
Ah!
because I harassed Alan.
Yeah, I
one time.
thought it should have been.
And then Canada. So you were right, Chris. 2 and 3. Other fun things: Malta, also Alan, because he moved from Australia to Malta
Man,
to
Alan's
work on
got
his
an exciting
PhD. Taiwan showed up last
Yeah.
month with some weird stuff. Yeah, that was Italy. Got I don't know who it is there. I should probably know who it is, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm a little hurt that no Russians have been listening. But
yeah, I
hey,
know,
what can
right?
you do?
Yeah,
Star Wars isn't huge over there.
yeah. Okay, so our top 10 episodes in this past year. We ready?
Yeah.
All right. To the surprise of no one.
Now do it bottom to
Oh, bottom
yeah.
first.
Yeah, start
Okay.
from the bottom.
I think we should guess on these two.
Okay.
What's
Yeah,
number
we're-
10?
Number 10, our
10?
10
'Cause I know 1
most
and 2.
popular one.
Yeah, I know 1 and 2, and 3, but I want to say 10th is like "Oh Captain, My Captain," episode 25.
It's going to be definitely be around.
You
there.
remember the numbers? The episode
Only on that
numbers?
one because I for some weird reason
23.
it is typical. Well, apparently, so I don't remember that.
Okay. I was like, wow, how does he remember that? Oh, and I have the episode here.
I'm going to go with Villains Bracket 2.
Oh, you're so close, Ross. It's Villains Bracket Part 1.
Is it really?
Oh wow,
Dang.
nice.
That's our 10th most popular episode. Followed by Solo. Was Solo.
Yes.
Then, Oh Captain, My Captain.
It's higher.
That was a really fun episode.
That was fun.
Just full of silliness. I'm so glad we came up with metrics that allowed me to put Captain Crunch in there. If you haven't listened to that episode, you should definitely do it. It's one of my favorites. Then Never Tell Me the Odds, which I don't remember what that was about.
Never Tell Me the Odds is our first improbabilities.
our
episode.
improbabilities
Yeah.
episode. That's right.
I'm surprised that one's up there that high already.
Then
Yeah,
what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, our sixth most popular one is Revenge of the Franchise. Our third episode where we talk about the sequel trilogy / standalone movies. Right. That's like almost a year ago. Ooh, boy. Stop messaging.
I mean, that's
that is a year.
That is a
like,
year.
yeah.
That's the point.
That's the third episode we recorded, so that's actually been more than a year for us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wow. So all the way back then comes Unlimited Power.
Unlimited power.
I don't remember what it was about.
An episode about me editing.
Yeah, probably.
No, Unlimited Power was about who's the strongest Force user.
Oh, see, this is why we have Chris around. All right. Our 1, 2, 3, fourth most popular one is The Good, the Bad, and the Prequels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode 2. So, yeah, where we gush over the prequels. All right, you guys are back to guessing for the top 3.
Our third most popular, I believe, is our first episode, is the Holy Trilogy.
That's number. I think that's in second place.
It has been trading off and on with the other one.
Has it?
But it's I haven't looked in a while, so they might have flopped.
I'm pretty sure it's currently still the Holy Trilogy is number 2.
I think Holy Trilogy is number 3, and then Single Reactor Ignition, the Rogue One episode, is number 2.
That one is also up there. That's right. So I think the Rogue One is number 3. Holy Trilogy is number 2.
Ross is correct. So Single Reactor Ignition was Rogue One good.
I was less right.
Holy Trilogy is number 2, our very first episode, which is crazy because it's not super good quality as far as like audio quality.
But that's where people start.
Content,
that's the one that brings in viewers so that they can listen to one episode and go, "Whoa, we're done."
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Bring them in so that they can definitely, for sure, decide.
Well, I mean, apparently a lot of them have been making it onto the second and third episode.
Yeah, that's true. And then our number 1 most popular episode of the last year
by a pretty wide margin.
By
10 downloads.
By 11.
11.
And it's held that place. Like it got matched by the Holy Trilogy once.
Yeah.
And they tied for like one day, and then this one took off again.
Yep. It is concerning The Last Jedi.
Episode 6.
There it is.
Which surprises me.
Yeah.
I mean, not us anyway.
Yeah, it's always been up there in our.
Yeah. Oh boy. And then here are some fun stats, courtesy of Ross's sister Lindsay. If you've been in the Facebook group, you've seen this. How many times has Kyler been excited for an episode? Kyler has said, "I'm excited for this episode exactly 10 times, 3 of which were all in one episode, that episode being episode 4, which was... it's not in our top 10.
Nope, it's not in our top 10. But
we weren't talking
that
about
was
trilogies
our,
anymore. That was...
I think that was the... which one is worse? Right? Episode 1 or 2, wasn't it?
No, that's not.
4?
That one was like 20 or something. Hold on. Opening my podcast app.
However,
episode 4 is, I think it's Disney. It's the benefits of Disney taking.
However, he also said we are excited or something similar a grand total of 6 times. So 16 times I've been generally excited for what's about to happen.
Boy, I mean,
Generally
16
excited.
out of 60. That's kind of a low ratio there.
I know.
Man.
I need to be more excited.
Yeah, episode 4
Just
is
so
Legends versus Disney.
Oh, that's right.
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
Well, listeners, just in case there's any confusion, I am in fact excited for this episode. Oh man. This makes me a little bit sad, but still, after a year. Our Twitter stats, we as a podcast are following 22 people. But 82 of you have decided to grace us with your follow, and I'm pretty sure all but like 5 or 6 of them are not robots.
Nice.
So
Hey, that's better than my personal account.
So, our Facebook stats a little bit better. 69 members. There it is. And 39 follows on our Facebook page that we never ever use or touch. So,
Which is because Facebook has a stupid system for things
Facebook
like
it
that.
is
worst.
extremely
It is so
dumb.
bad.
Wow. So those are some fun stats about the podcast. Oh, there are still 3 hosts. So
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
there's that.
We've stayed nice and stable.
Yeah, I think that we've had like 8 guests. We're going to get to that in a minute.
We have yet to. We have done 68 at this point straight recordings, not just episodes,
Yeah.
with the Nerf nuggets and everything. With where we have never yet had to have one of us missing.
Yeah.
Which is impressive to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a whole year and crazy schedules, particularly like when I left for Gen
So
Con
many.
and stuff.
I've had
Like,
so much dental work done that could have
Yeah.
knocked me out.
but that has been really impressive. Just that we have made it that. Like, that's just nuts.
Do you have stats on the number of guest hosts we've had?
I do.
Yes!
I do. They're coming up. Okay.
Sweet.
So, some of you, well, okay. No, let me start over. I was going to say some of you I appreciate. That's not true. I appreciate...
He does not appreciate anyone.
I appreciate all of the some of you who decided to actually do the survey. So, of the, probably 100-ish people that follow us between the two social media accounts, we had...
Some of those are going to be the same.
That's what I'm saying. It's 82
rounding around,
plus
yeah.
60-something.
Yeah.
There's some overlap, so 100
Sure.
minimum.
Yeah, that seems
I don't know,
alright.
whatever. 27 of you decided to do the survey.
And I always look at the number of downloads per episode a couple days after we've released it,
Yeah.
and that sits in the low 50s recently. So that's I mean...
We're more listeners, but they're not on the social media.
Yeah.
Which means they all missed out on this survey.
Yeah, so I was harassing everyone on social media, particularly the last couple of days. It'll be like a week ago by the time this episode airs. But anyway, so here are our listening habits. Are we ready?
Yes.
So, just over half of you listen every week, which we appreciate. And just over a third of you binge and then recover, which actually I think that changed now that I got more people harassed. Give me a second.
Pulling up the stats now.
Yeah.
Or we could just let it be silent and have it be cut off.
And this is Ross's moment of silence that he actually needs.
Yeah. That we're still talking over. No, we've got it earlier. It's fine.
Okay. I was going to give it to you. I was like, that's true. We did talk over it.
No, but then we still got it before we actually started.
Yeah, we just didn't do it on purpose. We
So-
just happened to stop talking. And Ross
So
was
I
like,
prepared...
it happened.
No, I did,
Whether
yeah.
they knew it or not.
So the reason I have to look up the live stats is because I prepared all of these answers in a nice, easy-to-read format for the podcast yesterday, and then we had like 15 people respond today, and I didn't have a chance to do it. So, okay, 7.4 of you said that we can read your name, but that we can use your answers, but you'll cut us if we talk about your name. So.
7.4? Who said
Percent.
that? 0.4.
It's a point.
Oh,
It's
7.4%.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so just kidding. Forget those stats I read earlier. 37% of you listen every week. 37% of you binge and then recover for a while. And 7.4% of you, including my wife, are here by accident. Please help. So there we go. Lots of good responses on the favorite episodes. Chris, you got a whole lot of love out of there.
Aww.
They loved the villain episode.
Aww.
They loved the death episode. A lot of people like the bracket episodes, which is good news for you guys because we got some of that coming up. Yeah, hero bracket. Ugh. Some of you are absolutely dead to me. One person said the newsiest news to ever news was their favorite
Yes!
part of the episode.
Whoever you are, you're my favorite.
You know, it's your fault, Kyler. They wouldn't love it nearly so much if you weren't fighting against it.
Hey, all that it takes for evil to win is for good men to do nothing, Chris. I have to fight.
A lot of people say that, but that's not true. You also need evil people doing evil things.
That's true.
Like saying the newsiest news.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was low. That was low. Little shot there, Chris.
Oh boy, let's see. Go do.
See, the thing is, for me, saying that you're doing something evil is not an insult.
Just to prove,
High praise, man.
just to prove that Ross is indeed evil. How do you feel about the newsiest news that ever newsed? 66%.
Ooh.
Yes.
Said I love it, never change, Ross.
We don't change Ross. He's very smart at this point.
I think that sounds like an Order 66 to me, which we cannot go against.
What do you mean? Oh,
Order 66.
so you're just embracing your evil now.
Sure.
Okay. So that's on record. Ross is embracing evil. You heard it here.
Or, if you're going to call good evil, what does that say about you?
Yeah, well, you know. Okay, only a third of the people said that our
he has a
episodes
future in media.
are so long that they consider calling up Anakin and telling them that they're a Padawan. So
Wait.
Ross missed it. Oh, because I told these guys not to look at the survey so that I could spoil them here with the answers. So they don't know what I actually wrote for the questions. Your options, by the way, for how do you feel about the length of our episodes were so long that I consider calling up Anakin and telling him I'm a Padawan. Mm-hmm. Could be shorter, but I'm okay with it. Listen, you guys, I know you love Star Wars, but rein it in. Which in my brain sounded like 3 different levels of your show's too long, which I guess it technically is. But really, most people were like, they're all the same answer, so whatever. Yes, we know our episodes are too long. We're working on it, guys. We are really
Ross got a job. That's helping.
Yep,
Yes.
it sure is. It cracks the whip on us.
Hence, you've had a couple of 2-parter episodes.
Oh, boy. So
really, we're not getting shorter. We're just cutting up our long episodes.
yes, exactly. Which seems to be being met with approval.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for not getting angry about that, guys.
So this was one question that I was super looking forward to having the answers for. Do you have any favorite quotes from the show, moments that made you laugh? If so, what are they?
Ooh.
So, she Han Solo'd your Greedo face. I am the podcast. Don't mess with that kid. He will cut you.
Which, I was so glad to see that one, because Chris didn't even want me to put that one in.
It's so funny.
I was like, I'm such a
outros.
bad parent.
Somebody else said I laughed at a meme you guys quoted. The meme was you should put leg weights on a toddler to wear them out, but by the end of the day, but that's actually a bad idea because now you have a toddler who never skipped leg day. Somebody else made me feel special. I laugh all the time so much that I can't name a specific moment because there's so many.
That was Kelsey, wasn't it? That sounds like Kelsey.
I do like the messiest news. I think they meant newsiest news. I am the podcast and the Greedo face quote. This one made me feel special. Kyler is so quotable, just cut him loose and you get gold. Like this one. Son of a whore. I thought I had that right. I felt a little weird sharing that one on Facebook, but it really cracked me up. So thank you. Thank you for writing that one. When Chris compared Luke's plan to rescue Han as Joker level of luck. Somebody else loves the bad fan theories we come up.
Oh, God.
Somebody else, the effing intro gets me every time. Also, it's a great way to introduce new people subtly to the show when I put it in a room full of people and fumble around for my headphones. And fumble around for my headphones. So, oh man. Ross, you're getting so much love, it makes me want to vomit. The newsiest news, mic drop, high five to Ross.
High five back.
Boy, it just keeps rolling, Ross. Kyler, Ross, take away the regular news. Ross, you mean the newsiest news to ever news? Kyler, slowly dying inside. You are not wrong.
Oh, yeah.
All of the Steven, fact check us. Oh Lord, too many to count. However, Chris and his "is your shirt a TARDIS" had me laughing so hard at work I had to pull my hand out of the tank I was cleaning so I didn't get stung by our lionfish.
That's the best thing ever. I almost got someone stung by a lionfish. I love it.
We're all in tears over here laughing at these. So well done. Not a quote, but when Kyler slapped Ross, I bust up every time. I'll try to include more of that in.
I love that that's
two.
an every time too. That means they're listening more than once.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, any terribly executed movie reference. Well, that's frequent. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Can't remember, but there's plenty of usually clever punny stuff. Gets me, or Chris beating or berating poor writing. Yeah,
I have been known to do that on occasion.
This one I read. This is the one that I was telling you about before the show, Ross. This one I saw this today. This came in just a couple hours ago, and I laughed so hard. My wife was like, "What is so funny?" And I'm like, "Somebody's answer here to this, like memorable moments or quotes or whatever." It's about Ross, and she's like, "Oh dear."
That was my reaction as well when you said that.
So they just said Ross, ellipses. The man's silence sometimes speaks volumes. And it is so true. It's one of the things that we miss out on having this as an audio only experience. Is I tell you, sometimes when Ross deadpans at our stupidity, it is so great.
It's true.
I like to think I also give some good withering glares too. That doesn't come across in the audio, but
oh boy, whew. Okay, so Carrie has been our favorite guest.
Oh, good for Carrie.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guests in this last year.
cool.
all?
Just kidding. I forgot to put your sister on there.
I was gonna say.
Kate. Sorry. So 7. No, or maybe she was on there and this just isn't. I don't know what. Yeah. No, she
we
was.
had
on
all
there.
3 of our wives.
That was.
We had my sister. We
Yeah, she's on
had
there.
Ryan.
We had Kelsey.
We had Kelsey.
Yeah. So 7 guests. I lied.
Who am I
7
missing?
guests. Carrie, Christina, Jess, Ryan, Caleb, Kelsey.
Caleb. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right, Caleb.
Yeah. So there we go. But Carrie wins.
Yes.
So there we go.
I will let her
She
know.
has also been our most frequent guest, I believe.
That is true.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I'll just let her listen.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun
Hey.
surprise.
Okay, so
Boost our numbers. Good idea.
this one, yeah. Squeeze one more download out of her.
Hey, no, she listens regularly.
Oh,
thank you.
yeah?
No, I'm sorry. She's one of the
The bingers.
binges.
There
yeah,
you
who
go.
catches
I was
up.
gonna say.
Okay.
Well, at least we've got one wife who listens to this.
My wife really only.
My wife has
listens
listened to more than I expected. To
Yeah.
be fair.
Does that? Ooh, I don't know if I want to go here. Ooh,
What?
we're gonna do it. Does that mean my wife is the best out of all 3?
Best listener.
Best listener?
Sure.
Yes. All right. How has Steven done as our official fact checker, guys? How do you think he's done?
Spectacular.
Great, adequately.
Better than adequate, I'd say.
Both
actually.
of you failed. Okay. So your options were really great, adequate, fire him. One person selected fire him. It might be his girlfriend. And just over half of you got the joke and correctly answered adequate. The other half of you need to listen more. Oh, my wife struggled with this one. She was like, he actually does do a good
Yeah,
job,
he's
but
good.
I
Does.
feel like adequate's the right answer.
We're adequate. Steven is excellent.
Yeah, so my wife was like, I kind of want to put adequate because I feel like that's the joke, but he actually does do a good job. And I'm like, then you get the joke. And she's like, okay. So she put adequate. So, Steven, it's official. Our listeners think you do an adequate job. Well
Certified
done, sir.
adequate.
Yep, exactly. Ooh,
That was my stamp. sound.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
it was good.
Okay,
I
good.
liked it.
people want to hang out with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How would you feel about more AMCP events where you can hang out with your hosts and shower them with the praise and admiration they so adequately deserve? 51.9% of you said, sounds awesome, I'm in. No questions asked.
That's a rather unprecedented reaction to listening to us for this long.
Exactly. I know, right? Right? Oh, and then 44.4% said, I mean, if other people are into it, I guess. And then everybody else added some sort of answer that involved, sure, but if you bribe me with food, I'll be there. Which is fair. That's how I'd get there.
That's how they get me to come to events.
Yep, exactly. And then we had some suggestions, some possible suggestions for different types of activities to do. So we'll be taking those into consideration.
I say, what were they just for fun?
Do something together, like watch a movie, play some kind of Star Wars game, do
I
a
think it could be
video.
fun to do some Star Wars Let's Plays.
Yeah, do some video episodes, like a Facebook Live thing where they can see us or something.
And actually,
live stream games.
It's funny that just comes up because last night that's exactly what
we did. Yeah.
So
You two did without me.
Yeah.
it was impromptu. It was apparently
You're
National
good.
Video
No,
Game
no
Day.
worries. No
Yeah.
worries. I was working I worked one job and then went to the other job yesterday, and one of the other jobs, and then went
Okay.
and took my boys out. So
There you go.
I was busy.
Guys, which Star Wars movie do you think our fans like the most?
Ooh,
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire is the knee-jerk reaction, but that's just because that's what I hear the most.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm going with.
But recently, I've heard a lot more in favor of Jedi. Return of the Jedi, not.
Yeah, I'm going with Empire for mine.
I'll go with
If
Jedi.
you didn't go with Empire, then you're wrong by almost double.
Wow.
The
Wow.
next runner-up, which was Jedi.
There you go.
Yeah, it was considerably in favor of Empire. And I think only, almost every... so, New Hope got a few. Basically, the top 3 were Empire, Jedi, New Hope.
Naturally.
And then Rogue One.
Really?
And then
Well, I guess there's a certain
episode
of ours I didn't listen to.
Episode 2 got a vote, I believe. Or maybe it was episode 3.
I said in that episode, my goal was not to make people dislike it, just to understand why it's not well written.
Yeah. So, which movie is worse? Okay, so here's where we get to the portion of the survey where it became painfully apparent that Kyler does not understand how surveys work. Or how to click the appropriate buttons when making a survey. This was supposed to be an either-or question, and apparently I left it open to add other options in, which nearly everyone took. So the answer to this question is mostly irrelevant, and we're going to have to do it again for year 2 wrap-up. But I went through and tried to make a judgment call one way or the other for everybody's vote based on if it had been a 1 or 2. Like, what did you say in your super lengthy, more than a yes or no answer that you added in? Yeah. Which movie is worse, episode 1 or 2? I decided to ask our listeners all of the guest questions that we ask people. So, based on my interpretation of their answers, doing my best to faithfully judge it, and this doesn't count the ones that came in today, because there were just so many and I didn't have time. I was busy doing other things. So as of yesterday, the official fan response is episode 2 is worse. And it's okay. 47% of you just don't know. And then, because a couple people were like, I don't know, neither, they're both good or whatever. So I was like, dang it. Was Rogue One good? Suffered from the same problem as that question. I just forgot to make it an either or and allowed people to add in their own answers. Yes, it was. It's okay, Chris. A third of our listeners agree with you and are wrong. Was The Last Jedi good? 41% said yes, 24% said no. All the rest gave very mixed answers because I don't know how polls work. Okay, care to guess who our listeners think has the best beard in Star Wars?
Oh, yes. I would love to know.
Well, I think they would agree with us.
I don't even remember who we put. Oh, we didn't necessarily rank them as that. We just had the top tier, right? So
yeah.
I think it's Adult Luke.
I thought it was episode 3 Obi-Wan.
If you didn't say some version of Obi-Wan, you are so unbelievably massively wrong according to our listeners. It was like, there were like me. Okay, so we had 27 responses. Probably 5 of them were not Obi-Wan.
Wow.
Like one of the responses, I'm going to go and actually read it because it was quite funny. Yeah, just for you guys here, you can see how massively and colossally I screwed up. There should be red and there should be blue, Ross, on all those. So
it's more of a rainbow.
This was really fun. One person, young Obi-Wan, was the best beard. So clean shaven, I guess. Old Luke, old Obi-Wan, then C.O. Bibble. But every incarnation of Obi-Wan, even the one when he didn't have a beard. Bibble episode 1, his beard could light speed a hole through Snoke's supremacy. So that was great. Yeah, somebody said Kiadi Mundi, which is a very good choice there.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh boy. Then, okay, that was everything that I had prepared. Chrome, here we go. Okay, back to the live answers for the midichlorian what's section.
Midichlorian what?
If there's anything else you'd like to tell us, this is the time.
Oh boy! So this you just said here, have an open mic.
Yep, pretty
awesome.
Much. Some people chose to take this opportunity to expound on previous answers. Again, requires a longer post, but I have some things I'd like to throw your way soon. Also, Brad and Kara say hi. So this is somebody that I didn't even know was listening, but Brad and Kara. So
hey guys,
hi Brad and Kara, and hi Neil. Thank you so much. If you're friends with them, you must be good people. So that's our litmus test. If you're friends with Brad, you've got to be pretty decent.
No, that's Brad's even more of a paladin.
Don't stop.
Ross.
You guys are amazingly adequate. So there you go.
Amazingly adequate. Yeah. It is astounding how average we are.
Oh, all right. We ready for this one? This is from our friend Abinadi. Ready?
Abinadi.
Great podcast. I especially love it when I get a shout out. I brag about it to my wife. She doesn't care at all, but it still makes my day. So, Abinadi, I think all 3 of us would like to just take a moment to give you a shout out and recognize your complete adequacy as a listener. You're fantastic, and we appreciate it.
Indeed.
You're a good man. So, yeah, consider this a mighty shout out from the 3 of us, my friend.
It should also be mentioned that someone added into our shout outs in the set list something about getting his wife to listen. Or something.
Oh, yeah.
So that she could hear just how adequate a
That's
shout out from us is.
Yeah. That's true. We'll get there. We'll get there in the outro.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
I added another 2.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I got one
let's
too,
see.
Oh.
A lot of shout outs for our end of the season episode.
Never surrender, Ross. Newsiest news for life.
Never give up. Never surrender.
I was going to tell you guys what his face looked like there, but I think you could hear it in his voice. Yeah. You heard what his face looked like.
Yeah. This one made me laugh and also sympathize with them. This survey is too long. Oh, I was dying. You guys are fantastic, and it's always a treat to listen to you. Keep up the great work.
Thanks.
It's like a speed bump every time I see one. It just derails me. There should be even more news, and it will be the newsiest news to ever news.
That's
Palpatine
right.
laugh.
Right.
Oh, this one I'm actually going to save because we're going to make an episode out of this.
Sweet.
So, fetch. I'll look it up while Ross is doing the news or whatever, and I'll give them a shout out for this. Yeah. There's Josher's response. He just left a bunch of thumbs up for us after telling us earlier to way tone down the length. Keep it up, you guys are awesome. It's so great to hear people talk about Star Wars as much as I think to myself about it. And I seriously need this is from Josh Tussler out in Colorado.
Yeah.
Need to find the time to drive to Utah to meet you guys. Sorry it never seems to work out. You should do it, man. If you ever come out here, we'll definitely hang out. Let's see. I have zero problems with episode length whatsoever, only that I have to adjust the volume up and down the entire time. That sucks. Kyler, just sit further from your mic. It's okay, I promise. Ross keeps telling me to sit closer to my mic, so I blame Ross.
Because if he sits farther away, then you get room echo. So the problem is...
Room echo.
Yeah, you'll hear it now. The problem is that Kyler has a very great dynamic range. So he'll sit and he has.
I go all the way from loud to really loud.
Yes. So actually, here on our mixing board, sitting right next to me, I do have him turned down quite significantly.
Yeah.
But still,
Kyler is one of those people that if you enter a building with him in it, you will know he's there.
yes.
You'll hear him laughing.
Also, I don't really know how to do audio very well. So I mean,
That's probably apparent.
that's I'm sure. And if anyone has any tips, I will love to hear them.
Or hey, nicely, if you want to come do audio for us, please.
Yeah, that's true. Nicely. Only he was still, I think, kind of busy, but
Yeah,
he
I'm
wants
sure
to.
he is.
He wants to, though. Cover extended universe topics, all caps. So
Yes, we do need to do
I did put some stuff in there. We're going to happen. He's mentioning a whole bunch of stuff that I don't actually know. Apparently,
See, that's-
Umbridge is quite taken with, because he has actually happened in quotes, which is a phrase I use all the time. So sorry. Please, and this is how he finished it. Please, before we are forced to start talking about where Daisy Ridley gets her nails done, EU, please. I promise you, we will absolutely get to the EU before that point. But this is one of the things that I was surprised by.
Yeah, I expected us to have to get into
ideas.
EU a lot sooner.
Yeah, we had a few ideas when I approached you guys about doing this. But then I was kind of worried. I'm like, we could do 3 or 4 months, and then I don't know. We're going to be like scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it surprisingly has never even come close to that.
Yeah.
Like, we keep getting new ideas from you guys, from ourselves. Like, we'll see something and make some kind of connection, and then we start talking about it to each other. And we're like, oh, well, we could actually do a whole episode about that. I could talk about this. You could talk about that. So, like, I don't think we'll ever get to the bottom of the barrel where we're talking about like what the actors are doing in real life, like unless it directly pertains to something.
Yeah.
But we
like
are
Mark Hamill dressing up as Luke Skywalker to go visit a dying boy in the hospital as
yeah,
Luke Skywalker.
like
that's awesome.
That's totally on topic. That's fine. But we will get more to the EU. We do have an episode coming up in the very near future that deals with a very popular item in the EU. Or topic in the EU.
The other tricky thing with the EU is it tends to require a lot more effort from us because
Correct.
our exposure to the EU varies from person to person, and I am definitely in the rearward side there as far as how much
really? I thought you knew more than me.
I know more about the original EU, like the Legends canon.
Yeah.
It was what I was most familiar with.
Yeah,
the
that's what
current
he's
EU.
talking about is the pre-Disney.
Okay. And even that is dated. I have lost more than I remember.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's why I didn't read the rest of his comments, because he's saying all these things that I'm like, those look like Star Wars things. I don't know any of those.
but we will delve into them more and more.
But we do have an episode coming up. We're finally going to talk about Thrawn
Yep.
Yeah.
here in the near future. So
I'm going to brush
there will
up
be
on my original Thrawn.
There will be some EU stuff there. So, and then this one. So I have to put a permaban on you two for looking at the answers, at least until and if I can get in and delete this answer after, because somebody gave me a question for Jeopardy that is so phenomenal. I was like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. It is golden. So I've got to get in there and see if I can hide it or get rid of it somehow so you guys can't see it and spoil it, because it's freaking hilarious.
What you want to do actually is download the survey. I'm pretty
delete
sure you
it.
can download it and just delete it off.
Okay,
the drive,
I'll do
so
that.
We can't see it.
And then, several responses generally along the line of, you guys are doing great, keep it up. So,
Oh, thanks everyone.
guys. Yeah.
so there we go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and
Is this the part where we make heart shapes with our fingers?
Yes, if this
No,
were a video...
That's not a thing I do.
I didn't think you would. Oh, man.
I do that for my wife. Maybe.
Wow.
I might have done that for my wife at some point.
Whew.
Pretty sure I have.
Okay, well, so that's kind of our year one and our survey all
Now,
done
what,
with.
hold on. What have been your favorite episodes to do, guys?
Oh, that's true. Ooh.
I can go first.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Last Jedi episode,
That was a lot of fun.
and of course, thanks to you, Chris.
Oh, shucks.
Well, because when I came out of Last Jedi, I was lukewarm on the movie.
Tauntaun.
Yeah.
I was talking about I mean, I think I said to you when we discussed it on the phone that night was that I loved everything with the Jedi, didn't care for anything with the Resistance, and that was most of it. I think that's the way I went into the episode. I probably ought to actually listen to it to see what I thought at the time, because now I'm just like, yeah, now that Chris has explained it all to us, and I can see.
Sheeple. Just kidding.
Stop it.
They've had their eyes opened.
That's right. We have now been elevated to a higher plane of fandom.
You got some galaxy brain going on.
And I will say I discovered on Twitter this week that Frank Oz is on my side there. Apparently he reamed someone for
Yes, he
complaining about the sequel trilogy, and he's just like, "Excuse me? Have you even begun to appreciate the many levels of The Last Jedi?" And I was like, "Woo! Frank Oz is my spirit animal."
I was like, did that happen before we started the podcast, or did we mention that?
I have no
I
idea.
thought I remember talking
I
about
just
that.
I just saw that my sister texted that to me.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I mean, being lukewarm, and then I can't say that now without cracking a smile. And then coming into that episode and being able to discuss everything, all the problems everyone had with it at the time, and going through it and seeing how actually those things were okay or necessary or actually made more sense than what a lot of us thought they did. And now actually, it's one of my favorites. It's one that I'm going back to. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome, Ross. I'm glad you feel that way.
Self-plug for anyone that hasn't listened to it. Yes, it's 3 hours. Do it in chunks. Come on, you can do it. Yeah. Go back. And
Josher.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Chris, what was your favorite?
Oh, that's tough. Let me scroll through there for.
Oh, shoot. That's what I was doing. I was
Yeah,
hoping
yeah.
to buy time.
We'll just be silent.
So yeah, right. One of the most fun episodes for me was Oh Captain, My Captain, where we talked about different sci-fi captains. That was it was so ridiculous on some of them that it was just so fun. But I loved okay. This is
I
gonna be a
loved our
two-parter.
Valentine's Day
I was
episode
just
was
about to say
awesome,
the Valentine's episode was hilarious. What you listeners got was less hilarious, but
There was a lot that was cut out.
there was a
of
lot
that
that
one.
was cut out.
Experimenting with new editing
But,
techniques.
yep. But it was so much fun. We were dying that whole episode. Like everybody was in tears here, laughing, and oh my gosh, it was funny. And Chris's wife and Ross's wife.
Yeah.
I was shocked. So they said some things that didn't make the final cut that I was like, whoa. I'm so glad you said that because I would have gotten in trouble for that. But
Yes.
someone said it, and that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that episode was a blast. That was
We will be
really fun.
Getting a fuller cut of that one up.
I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with the Battle of the Bads episode. I enjoyed
That
listening
was
to you
fun.
guys argue about that. And the Star Wars games, The Rankening, Kyler's horrific betrayal.
Oh, that's
He
true.
had
It
to
still
go through.
burns. Still burns. I really also really liked. Okay, I'm gonna say Valentine's episode was probably my favorite because it was so silly, but it was also a ton of fun to have our wives on the show.
Oh yeah, that was a
Like
blast.
that was just the extra banter, and that was fun. It was so fun. Plus, like the three of us have all been friends for so long, and I think we all married very well in terms of getting women
Absolutely.
that fit in with our group of friends that have been together forever. And so, even though like Ross has only been married, not nearly as long as Chris and I have, but Carrie like instantly is.
Oh, you've still got several years on me.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like all the wives just instantly take to the group dynamic that we already had. So it
have done
feels like Jess and Carrie and Christina have all been in the group as long as anybody else, you know?
Jess routinely,
Yeah.
when she's hanging out with our friends from high school, with our lady friends, the moms get together, and she's just like, they're constantly forgetting that I wasn't around for all this. Like, they're talking about things in high school like I was there, and I wasn't. I wasn't even in high school at the same time as you guys.
Yeah. But again, that's the nice thing is like the dynamic is so good that we literally forget that you haven't been there all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that episode was really fun, but I also really liked your episode, Chris, The Anatomy of a Villain.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That
fun.
was a
That was a good one.
solid episode. Like, and I feel like I learned a ton. I just loved that episode. That was so cool. And as kind of, it's almost become like a natural follow-up to it. Your Death in Storytelling two-parters kind of go along with that episode really well. In fact, I just on Twitter today recommended those 3 episodes to somebody. They were talking about Kylo getting a redemption arc, like that's what they really want. And I was like, we have 3 episodes that may interest you.
Yeah.
Listen to this Anatomy of a Villain. Listen to Death and Redemption stories here, and give us 3 more downloads. But those episodes are really fantastic.
I just had it in front of me and I forgot.
I really like doing the trivia episodes. Those are fun.
Those have
Those are
been
a lot of
fun.
fun.
Like, I wouldn't say that they're necessarily my favorite episodes, and I mean, some of you listeners really liked them, but they're fun for me to like come up with the questions, and especially if I can work in some puns somewhere. Oh, it's just good.
Oh yeah, the pun episode, the joke episode was a lot of fun for me.
It was fun, but probably my least favorite episode, honestly. Yeah.
Beard face man guy was a lot of fun for me. We mentioned it in the episode, but it was just so usually when we come in here, we know at least the basics of what we're going to talk about, or at least one of us does, and the other 2 are ready to listen. But Beard face man guy was literally just like, well, we had a topic, but do we want to? We're not really ready for that. And then just sat here spitballing, and then went, we could do this
because
let's do that,
because everything else on our list was also episodes that needed more preparation. Than what
stuff we had to
do.
prep for, and so it was literally just like, let's talk about who has the best beard. Really? Yeah, no, let's do that.
Yeah.
It was winging it to the extreme, and I loved it.
Yep, that was a really fun episode. Oh man.
So does this mean that like Chris is our MVP for the podcast?
Nah.
Because so many of these episodes have been.
Kyler's apparently so freaking quotable,
Not true.
and Ross is exciting when he's just not even talking.
Oh man.
Wait, what are you saying there, Chris? Hold on.
I'm saying you make even silence awesome.
It was
Ross.
a joke. It was a joke that didn't land. Like most of mine.
Except your face. That always lands. Oh boy, that was terrible. That sounded so much better in my head. Nope, never mind.
Just walk that one back.
Let me
Go
just,
beg Ross to remove that.
I was just gonna say, Ross, just take that out, and then I was like, no, he'll never take it out.
I will leave it, and I will probably duplicate that for the end of the episode if I can find it.
Oh, and then I'm like hitting my mic and stuff. Sorry, Ross. It's probably.
If you would just stop making it worse.
Stop. Okay. Whew.
Okay,
Man.
so coming up this next year.
Oh, next year
Season.
Yeah, next season. Season 2 of A More Civilized Podcast. We have...
Which will be right here next week. No break.
Exactly. We have... I'm super excited for the Valentine's episode.
Yep, that's going to be fun.
That is going to be even funnier than last year. Well, I don't know. Last year was pretty funny. It's got the potential to be even funnier.
Yes.
But either way, it's going to be a it'll be a tier 1 episode.
Next year's Valentine's episode, you will see the return of our wives, or hear the return of our wives.
And I am dying to do this because we had so many good ideas. Like right after Valentine's, we were like, oh, we could do this for a Valentine's show. Oh, we could do this for a Valentine's show. And I'm like, oh, dang it, I have to wait a year? Fetch. Okay.
For one of those. And
I
then...
know. It's going to be so good. I'm really looking forward to the first week in April. That episode is going to be hilarious.
That's going to be fun.
In a different way. And educational.
Being really vague.
Yep, I definitely am.
Because I don't even remember what we had
Yep,
planned.
it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
in
be
there.
fun.
It's in the list.
I mean, I guess I could look it up.
Yep. Don't say anything though, Ross. You can't say anything.
It'll be about Star Wars.
Yep, it definitely will be about
really?
Star
Oh,
Wars.
good.
Yeah.
Yep,
Thematic.
because this is a Star Wars podcast. So, we have... Should we tell them what we're doing next week?
You can if you want. That's up to you.
okay. So, one of the things that we started, one of our original batch of episodes, was our villains bracket.
Yes.
Which, as we learned, is our 10th most popular episode, the beginning of that. After we were done, or actually as we started the
It was after we
episode-
did the
first-
heroes bracket that we realized, hey, we could have...
Well, even in the middle of it, it basically came down to a death match. Who can kill who?
Yeah.
And so that basically went to the most powerful Force user, and so Palpatine wins, and there we go.
Except it was Vader.
Oh, except it was Vader. That's right. Yeah, Vader wins, and there we go. And then when we sat down to do the villains or the hero bracket, we were like, well, you know, we have to have a different metric than butchering the most younglings or something. You know,
Yeah, that doesn't work for a hero.
Yeah. So then we realized, oh, we should just have some actual heroic criteria.
Yeah.
So then we thought, you know, this would be really good. Everybody loves the villains bracket. We should go back with some villainous criteria by which to judge villains, more than just simple butchery.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing that next week, and it'll be our typical 3-episode over the course of 6 weeks.
Yes.
Or 5 weeks, I guess, because it'll be every other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ross just got to it.
Yeah. Well, and I was.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, we've got some Thrawn from the
Yep.
old EU coming up.
We're gonna, after we've got episode 9, we will do our trivia show for the sequel trilogy. Will be
Yeah.
coming out at some point.
Speaking of episode 9,
Yes.
the rubric by which the winner shall be decided is yet to be created. But we are going to have a listener come with us opening night to
Are we?
see
Awesome.
episode 9. We are.
Oh, okay.
We are doing that.
Okay.
We are going to do more like hangouts with us doing something.
Because we had talked.
I thought we
about
were.
doing
I thought we wanted to reward our listeners.
No, you don't get it, Chris. The winners don't have to come.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
because we had talked about doing a group viewing of.
Yeah. So we're gonna be. Yeah. So before episode 9, this is okay. You guys are hearing this live. You listeners, you're joining Chris and Ross for the first
Yeah,
experience of
this
this.
is new to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do like a watch party.
Right.
Do like 7 and 8, and then like the next day would be the opening night for 9 or whatever.
Okay.
Depending
Or
on
even
where we
that
can plan
day.
it. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, or whatever. But then one of you gets one of you will be chosen. You'll be the chosen one from among the fans, and you'll get to come with us to the theater and go see it.
Cool beans.
So we've got
All
some
right.
more,
Okay, cool.
some more, and I said the rubric
Assuming,
by
of
which
course,
you will
that
be
you
chosen.
are in or can get to Utah.
Well, that'll be one of the criteria. You have to be able to actually go with us if you're going to win. But that's okay because about 2/5 of our audience is here in Utah. So,
2/5.
yep, just about.
I think it's higher than that.
Well, way more than 2/5 of our listens are in.
Oh yeah,
Utah,
that's true.
But of our audience, yeah, I'd
Yep.
say that's probably accurate.
That's probably
Okay.
or half-ish.
I was going to
Anyway.
say it's probably more like half.
Anywho, but enough of you will be there to hopefully make that a thing that will happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we are planning on doing more events where you can come and do with this. And one of these days, I'm going to learn how Facebook Live works, and then I will be an unstoppable torrent of obnoxious Star Wars stuff all up in your business.
Yeah, I'm not
So-
sure that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, remember,
Let's
this
see.
is the guy that got 2 of his friends to do a podcast. So I mean,
One episode I'm looking forward to that is not even on the docket for it's going to be sometime in the next season probably that I'm looking forward to is a trivia game that I'm going to put these guys through and maybe bring some more people in. It's the names episode where I'm going to give you names from Star
that's
Wars along with names I've encountered in real life and names from other media.
Is this a Utah name or is it a Star Wars
Is this
name?
a Utah? That's
Good
where
luck.
it came from originally. Is this a Utah name or a Star Wars name? And we're going to quiz to see who can correctly identify the most of these.
and Chris, I was telling Kyler about this before the episode. I think what we need to do for our next trivia episode is have you and I come up with questions just for Kyler.
Ooh, do like
So-
the death match,
Yes.
like the most intensive.
Yeah, and then it's whoever I score the most points on, like you're the loser. 'Cause you didn't come up with
So
hard
it is still
questions.
us competing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who would Kyler compete with anyway? We get Steven on here.
Get
We'll quiz-
Steven, yeah.
we'll quiz
Fact
Kyler
check us,
versus
Steven.
Steven.
Or we we could even get some questions from Steven.
Oh, hey, this is coming together.
Steven, you can private message either Chris or I with some awesome questions.
That's true.
Private message us with an even number of questions apiece. Like, keep it fair.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair enough. True. Okay.
Or I like the idea.
Or
of
you
having
could just
Steven
pick a
on the
favorite,
show.
like,
that
that,
would be
that's
super
fair.
fun.
You know what? We could even just have this a community thing.
They submit questions to you two to see if you can.
Yeah.
I don't
stump
know
me.
if we could do a community and Star Wars episode. Like, there's not enough. I mean, Community
that
did have
community.
some
Oh.
Star Wars episodes.
We are
could
doing a
discuss
community
that.
Star Wars episode. Ross, put it on the list. Oh man.
That's how we generate ideas, by the way.
Yep,
Just
that right there. That just happened.
Yes, when I will
So-
make a really dumb joke, and then we'll realize, wait,
And then
no,
he'll
we
turn
can
and
milk
see the
that.
excitement on my face and feel too bad to tell me we can't do it, and so we'll make it work somehow.
Oh, you know me better than that.
Oh man, so we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up.
I'm also
for next
looking
year.
forward to we're gonna do some revisiting of The Last Jedi. That's been our most
Yes.
popular episode, and we've got a bit more of that coming up. I want to have an episode where it kind of like, because
Yeah, it
whatever happens, however Rise of Skywalker is received, it is going to change the discussion about The Last Jedi permanently. Like,
Yep.
everything we've said about it and we've all been saying about it for the last 2 years will be changed forevermore. Like, that's just what's gonna happen. People barely remember what they were saying about Empire Strikes Back after it came out because Return of the Jedi changed all of that. And so I want to have one more last hurrah before everything changes forever.
Yeah, because it was like 3 months ago. I remember you saying like, "Hey, like, did we want to do another episode about this? Because I've got some more stuff I could say. We could probably fill up an episode."
And I have managed to
so
put a lot of that just here and there into other episodes. We've got another episode coming up where I'm going to kind of put my last little bit of other stuff, and then this is basically my closing argument.
oh boy.
So, other predictions for this year. I've got a few.
Oh,
Well, I
yeah.
wanted to mention, because we were talking about some of the suggestions that listeners were giving to us before we move on. Sorry,
Oh, yeah. No, please.
No. Oh,
And
go ahead.
because of our stream that we did yesterday, which I mean was too impromptu for anyone to actually.
Yeah. The
Watch
stream
it
he's
on.
referring to is the little stream of Give Said the Little. No, just no. Ross and
little
Kyler
stream of-
played Age of Empires 2 together
Yes.
and didn't invite me.
Well, and we were going to play Star
Sorry,
Wars
Chris.
Empire
It's okay.
War, but there are some weird version issues that we had to resolve. We just
And we decided to give up on it and play
Yes.
Age of Empires
I
instead.
actually don't have ready access to either of those games at the moment, so wouldn't
so
have mattered.
what I'd like to do is actually start doing that infrequently in the future, and of course have listeners on, especially because like Empire at War, you can have join in.
Yeah.
So if you would like to see some gameplay streams hosted by mainly me, because I have
Yes.
the streaming set up, but probably tapped in on
It'd be
with-
basically like our Age of Empires stream. You're watching Ross play, but you're getting my popcorn or peanut
I was
gallery
gonna say.
snark going on.
I was even thinking it would be fun to have you and I do Jedi Knights.
Oh, that could be
Talk
fun.
about those. So, but anyway,
I do
That
love
would be
those.
fun.
yeah. So let us know if you want to see those, or if you have games that you want to join in on. We'll get that organized.
And until next time, no, I'm just kidding.
No, stay tuned on the Facebook. I was going to make a post, but now we're doing it here. So
So
Whatever.
yeah,
I've learned that spamming our audience is a good way to get them to do what I want. So, doing it here.
I don't
making
know if that's a
Facebook
lesson you
posts.
should have taught him, everybody.
yeah.
Just do the survey the first time I ask you to do it. I won't have to spam you. Oh boy. So predictions for next year,
Yeah.
Chris. What do you got? What are you
I'll-
predicting?
let's see. My number one is I think we're gonna like Rise of Skywalker. Like, I'm worried, I got my worries and everything, but all in all, I'm kind of like, nah, I'm optimistic here. I think it's gonna be at least decent. Like, we're gonna come out of it not mad.
I'm optimistic because all the theories that people come up with are always wrong, and so whatever's left has got to be fine. So
That's true, and
I
there are
don't
so
know.
many bad theories out
Yes.
there. It only leaves
If
room
you-
for a few good ones.
So Jenny Nicholson is a YouTuber whose videos I quite enjoy, and she did for Last Jedi. She did a bingo card where she just put out a ton of predictions, most of which were just utterly absurd, like jokes. She got like half her board with that.
Wow.
And so she's already done her Rise of Skywalker board.
We should do that. That's
And
a good
I'm like,
idea.
yeah, it's pretty well, we are going to do a predictions episode.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
But she did hers before the trailers came out because she likes living life on hard mode, is what she said. So. And but I'm like, you know what? She's predicting some pretty absurd things, but so who knows what could happen.
yeah.
I predict The Mandalorian is going to be extremely successful.
I expect it to do pretty well. I think generally the audience is going to be happy with it.
Yeah,
John Favreau's got a good record.
Yep. Well, and he's got a really great team of people
Yeah.
behind him helping. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
and also the money seems to be behind it. So the company seems to be confident in it as well.
I don't want to say I'm predicting this because I don't actually think it'll happen, but it would be kind of cool if it did. Is if because season 2 of Resistance is also coming up.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead right up through episode 8 because like season 1 ends with the destruction of Hosnian Prime and stuff. That's the end of episode 7 / beginning of 8, which is all of 8 because it's only a few hours long.
Yep.
Or days at most, right?
Yeah.
So season 2 is going to be from 8 to 9. I wonder and kind of secretly hope that Christopher Sean is in live action in 9 as Kaz.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't that be
I
cool?
mean,
Would
at very
be
least as a
interesting.
cameo. That
Yeah,
would be
like
cool.
I don't know if that would actually happen, but that would be so cool.
But wasn't there something that they said that this season will not go all the way up? It will not fill that full year
Sure,
between the
but
two.
even so, like Christopher Sean,
As long as
looks
he
young
doesn't
enough.
die, then they can still have a cameo.
Yeah,
for him.
he's like he's young enough looking to play Kaz, and he kind of looks like
He does
Kaz.
kind of look like Kaz.
So it's like you could do that. That would be really cool. Anyway, so I kind of like secretly hope that would be there just because that would be super cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it actually will.
I'm excited to see that they've got to announce something more for Filoni to do soon. With Resistance closing, they're going to want his next project.
Oh yeah, for sure, it'll come
Something
up.
will
We'll
come
When
see
is
it
the next season of Clone Wars coming out?
So they start
it's coming
production
out-
in February. It should be like next fall.
Okay, so it could be this season. or
No,
it could be.
I thought Clone Wars was almost done. I thought it was going to be a
Yeah,
not
like
a launch
they're
for,
they're
Disney
like
Plus, but,
basically finishing it up in February, and then it'll launch next year on Disney Plus next fall.
Yeah.
Because remember, they already had a ton of work done for these episodes that they're showing, so they just had to bring people in to like redo some voices and stuff based on different things that changed.
Yeah.
But most of the hard labor was already done. Most of the voice work was already done.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
far
just
as-
the animation.
as far as the hard labor
No,
goes.
no. I'm talking about even the animating. Most of the animating was already done. Also, because like the Bad Batch episodes, those 4 episodes, a full 1/3 of this series, it just needed like the final pass to make it look real. But like they actually had all the animations done already for all 4 of those episodes. The only episodes that I think they had to do any work on as far as animating was the Siege of Mandalore. That was the only arc that had voice work done but no animation. So they only have a little bit to do. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, that'll be fun. Kenobi will be starts filming next
That
year,
will
Filming
exist.
next year.
so it'll be 2 years till we see it.
Yeah.
So over the course of our next season, we're going to get episode 9. We're going to get The Mandalorian. We'll probably at least get the beginning of the last season of Clone Wars.
I think they'll get the whole thing all at once, won't they? We're thinking
Maybe,
release
I
it
don't
all.
No, it'll.
Oh, wait, no,
I know
Disney Plus is
Mandalorian's
doing-
releasing one episode at a
no,
time. So.
Clone Wars will probably release just after our season 2
Yeah, that's when you think.
because it'll be like October.
Okay. Fair.
So
So we'll have 2 new things for
Yep.
this season, and they're
gonna
both
be
going to be
fun.
right at the beginning.
yep.
That'll be interesting.
But the Mandalorian will stretch out for a little while.
That's true. We'll have a full season of that.
So, oh boy.
I'm also predicting right here, put my money on the line. This will be the year that Kyler admits he no longer hates and possibly even likes The Last Jedi.
Ooh, Chris.
I also unwillingly and begrudgingly predict that Chris is probably going to be right on that.
Wow.
It really also depends on what 9 does.
There is that, but we'll see.
9 or his next episode, whichever his next episode, whichever comes first.
I have been meaning to go back and listen to that episode and
Me
then
too.
rewatch 8 right after. Granted, I need like an 8-hour workday for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But could be. Could be.
All right.
What other crazy
I've
predictions
thrown
are
that
there?
glove down. That's,
I have to correct Kyler.
I predict that I will slap Ross at least once more in this next
that seems likely. Yeah.
Ross is
I predict
shaking his
that
head.
probably not this year, but next year may be the point where Ross breaks down and slaps Kyler.
Yeah, probably not this next year. It'll take
yeah.
a little while. Yeah.
I mean, a little while after meeting him, I did run his head into a light switch.
That's true. I don't think we've had a real
hold
serious argument ever since. Not really.
Your
anyway.
timeline is off on Clone Wars.
Oh, was it?
The major theory is that we're actually going to get it released in February, not next year.
Oh.
This upcoming
the year.
February.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I mean, especially
So we
with what
could
they
have
were
3
showing
releases for
at
this next.
Celebration. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking was this February, a little after Disney Plus launches. So.
Yep.
Anyway.
So that's another of those things for getting into the EU is we're going to get more stuff to work with too. Like this is never stopping.
Yep. I predict more guests for this upcoming year.
Oh yeah.
And not just our wives,
Yes.
but actual people.
Much as our wives are great to have on. But
Yes, they are. But
Well,
like
we've even already got one planned. So
we do have one planned. That one I'm really looking forward to that.
that's
actually.
going to be fun.
I wish we had gotten permission to read the interview that I did with someone, but we didn't. So, just so you listeners know, last year I talked with somebody who's involved with Star Wars and had a really cool chat with them on Twitter in DMs. And then we both were like, well, we probably ought to get permission to talk and continue having this conversation before we talk about any more, because we may have already crossed the line, and neither of us want to get our faces sued off by the mouse.
Oh yeah, hey, that was my other congratulations, guys. We went a whole year of doing this without any cease and desist from
Yeah,
Disney.
that's true. And
Especially after the music
so
episode, I was worried about that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this person asked...
Oh, that was a good. How did we miss
and
that? In our
I
favorite episode?
asked for permission, and neither of us got it.
Yeah.
And so we said, well, it's been really nice chatting with you. Sadly, that will never, ever see the light of day.
Yeah. This person, who shall remain nameless, but is part of one of my favorite clubs.
That's true. And we won't say any more than that.
nice and vague. I like it.
Stephen will probably fact check and figure it out.
I think Lindsay will catch it quicker
Yeah,
than Stephen in
probably.
that case, but Lindsay knows our show better than Stephen
That's
does.
true. And us. So,
And any of us.
But anyway, but that was really cool. I wish we had gotten permission for more of that. But who knows? Maybe this next year we can...
We'll keep doing this long enough. Eventually, they'll be inviting us to their events to meet
right.
people.
Speaking of events, I am predicting, because I have faith in us, that we will be at LTUE in some capacity or
I was going
another.
to ask you about that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, we won't hear back. You won't hear
Until
back on that
November.
until about November. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but I
But
think
yeah,
we'll all be there.
LTUE is, Chris, for those who don't know.
This is the Life, the Universe, and Everything Symposium in Provo, Utah, which I went to over the course of this last year. You may remember me plugging my presence there. And this year we have all applied to be panelists. And I'd
bunch of
put good
different
money
stuff.
on us all being there. So
We may even get lucky and have our very own presentation on podcasting.
Yes.
And so we could all be there talking about this very podcast, and you could come shower us with that admiration we so adequately deserve.
Yep. We'll see. We'll see if that's what they want for their symposium, but it is a lot of fun anyway. So.
Oh, I just want to give another shout out to Dragon's Keep and to Leader for letting us have our very first ever event at their show, or at their store, their Spanish Fork store.
Yep, back in
Leader's just awesome, and they're just good people there.
Yep.
That's my preferred game store, so they have my endorsement for the pennies that's worth. They also have a significant amount of my monthly income.
I was going to say, pennies? I don't think it's pennies, sir.
No. His endorsement
Is worth
is
almost
only going to bring in
nothing.
some. Yeah. Because most of our listeners that are going to go there already know about it. And they're there.
Yeah. Steven, that's where we
If
play.
you're the type of person who listens to a Star Wars podcast and you live in Utah where you can go to it, you probably already know about Dragon's Keep.
Yeah. I think that's all I have.
I was going to say, have we moved on to shout-outs?
Yeah,
sneakily?
let's
think
shout
so.
out.
We're shouting it
That
out.
was a shout out to Leader right
That
there.
was.
Let's segue
What a
into
great
we could have
transition.
we could have segued
Dang
so
it.
smoothly there. Pretend we did that, listeners.
You said you had something to
I
shout
do.
out to.
I do have a shout out. So this last week for us at the moment recording this, I was up at FanX, formerly known
I was gonna
as
ask
Salt
about
Lake
that.
Comic Con, with my sister who was displaying her art, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to Stephen and Emily who showed up and bought some of my sister's artwork and were generally
It's
cool.
really good.
It is wonderful artwork.
Her art
yeah.
is seriously, like, I kind of want to have... I can't afford it, but I want to commission her to have some art for the podcast made.
You know, Yeah, you can't afford it right now, so it's not that big of a but I'm just like, there might be an opening
But like
to get
seeing
that done,
her whole
but...
Negare thing, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
gosh,
If you
you're
haven't seen
flipping
Negare,
genius.
my sister on Stranger Kate on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, I think she's got a Twitter. But she did a comic about a spoof of Scott Pilgrim's Negascott with Negare from the recent
It's
trailer.
dang funny.
Pretty entertaining.
It's so good.
You can find that in the Facebook group. So yeah, that was my shout out to Stephen and Emily for
Cool.
visiting me at FanX. It was nice to see them.
And actually, on the theme of shouting out to people that have been on the podcast,
Hey.
the one that I wanted to shout out to was Ryan Farron,
Yes,
our first
Ryan.
ever guest.
Yeah.
Because-
Ryan is good people.
It turns out, this job that I just
Oh,
had over
yeah.
the last couple of months, turns out I work with him. I had no idea. In fact, when I walked up to him, when I saw him, I was like, I don't remember you saying you worked here. And he's like, I don't think I did. So, like, yeah, we had a
Just sheer
conversation for a
coincidence
minute.
ended up in the same workplace.
Happened to run into him also, was it yesterday or day before? He was giving a tour to some people. He was like, yeah, hey, and I was even just shouting at your podcast to a bunch of people. So I was like,
Yeah.
you, sir, you get this week's shout out.
Yeah, he's a good
So
guy.
thank you, Ryan.
He is.
Thank you. And
And one more for Abinadi. Tell your wife to listen so she can fully appreciate just how adequate a shout out from us truly is.
yes, absolutely.
Does she not like Star Wars, Abinadi? Is that the thing? Like, let me know. We want to help
It's
her.
us.
Help
It's
us,
just us.
help her. Yeah, it could be.
It's actually personal. It's us.
Yeah.
us
She's
specifically.
like, no, I like Star Wars. Oh.
Yeah, I listened to part of an episode.
It'd be like my mom. I just couldn't handle it. Well, it was hard to get into. Thanks, Mom.
It's okay. It's all good.
That's okay.
Twitters. I'm at Mr_R_Star.
Yes, I am at Itinerant Baxter.
I handle a More Civilized podcast.
Yes,
And
which is our
And a different one.
yes.
But that's...
We mentioned earlier we don't have enough followers there, so
Yeah, follow us
at
on
least help
Twitter,
us
dang
break 100. Come on.
Yeah, tell people, make a fake account. I don't care.
Although if you haven't because you are avoiding the wretched hive of scum and villainy that is Twitter,
It's understandable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Join the slightly less wretched, but equally hivey.
The more
Facebook.
Jar Jar-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, so join the Facebook group, A More Civilized Podcast.
Yep.
Yep, there it is.
Now we recently had
If
someone.
you want to go the extra mile to show us our love, like the page. Then I'll know that only came from this episode.
We did recently have someone inform us that they could not find our podcast on a certain app. So if that happens to you, please let us know because we do want to get that available absolutely everywhere that podcasts
We'll put our
are
best
available.
people on it.
did we verify
We
that
put
got
me
up,
on
by
it,
the way?
but I never did. So our most adequate people were handling that, and but I believe it should be available. And so let us know if it's not available somewhere where you want to see it, and also let us know if you have any topics for podcasts you want us to talk about, like the extended universe.
Spread the word. Oh, I have one more thing to say. We have a great empty spot right down like the middle of the country. The Dakotas and Nebraska and Kansas. In a year of doing this, not a single download from any of those states.
In fairness.
What?
In fairness.
Are there people in those states?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, there's like 12 people, right? I know in the Dakotas, and they're like surrounded by buffalo or whatever. But
I feel rather insulting saying that. Was like, you're from Utah. Come on. It's like,
for real.
that's fair.
but so if you know anybody in those states, put the word
Or
out.
if you're taking a trip like my sister did to Bulgaria,
Yeah.
Download
If you're on a
those
cross-country road trip.
Also, to anybody who knows anybody in Rhode Island, we've had downloads in like Connecticut and Massachusetts. Like Rhode Island is this literal island of no listeners.
really what we're saying is we're going for a U.S. bingo.
We are, and we're
Back
we're
up.
only at about 30 states. So we need more. And let's see, Joshua Bailey, you just moved from Georgia, which had a disappointing lack of downloads for somebody that I play D&D with every week. And now he's in Colorado, so we can't even milk Georgia for anymore.
Kyler's getting
So
real.
I am.
Yeah.
And let's see who else. Gatlin, you're okay. You're supporting our California listeners. That's fine.
Really?
And my DM, Johnny is fine. He's raking in Montana. That's where our Montana listens come from. And
I'm mostly upset about our lack of Chilean listeners. Like,
yeah,
this is upsetting.
And I will say, we love you all. You're all doing great.
Yes.
yeah.
Just travel.
Just
more.
have fun.
Give us the illusion of
Just,
more people listening
just
to us.
enjoy the podcast.
I demand
please
more.
We really appreciate you listening.
We do. We said this at the beginning of the episode, but it is very true and very heartfelt. We are profoundly grateful for those of you who do listen. it's what allows us to keep doing this, you know? So that's... Thank you, really, from the bottom of our hearts, really, thank you.
And from the bottom of our house.
And the bottom of our house.
We're actually at the top of my house right now.
Yeah, but we were
from the
thankful
bottom.
from the bottom.
Yeah, all the way up to the top, Ross.
Okay.
Thankful everywhere. Yep, we're recording on Ross's roof.
Yes.
His house is actually shaped like Cloud City. We're recording from a weather vane. Hanging by our feet.
Anyway, is there anything else?
No.
Okay. I think we've made this outro. Steven, is this the longest outro? Or no, Lindsay, is this
Lindsay.
the longest outro?
Fact check
Probably.
it, Steven. All right. Get out of here. Until next time, may the force be with you.
Always.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm Anna Graves, and thank you for listening to a more civilized podcast.
Hey there, listeners.
Wait.
What? Oh, moment of silence?
Yep.
Moment of silence for our first year.
That's not... I need 6 seconds.
I don't know if our first year is best characterized by silence, but
Yeah, definitely not. Okay.
a moment of silence for Ross's failed moment of silences.
Gotta refill the old bubbly.
Oh my word, you're gonna put Michael Rooker and Nathan Fillion and Peter Capaldi and Idris Elba and Sean Gunn and John Cena.
That's a lot of sexy in one movie.
Right? Ah.
I was gonna say, we're back from Ross's nose-blowing break. And now we gotta cut that out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wait, what are you saying there, Chris? Hold on.
I'm saying you make even silence awesome.
It was
Ross.
a joke. It was a joke that didn't land. Like most of mine.
Except your face. That always lands. Oh, boy, that was terrible. That sounded so much better in my head. Nope, never mind.
Just walk that one back.
It's a new season of AMCP.
Yes.
A new season for you and for me.
This might be a spoiler for the next episode in the end credits.